Alright guys, we're working something out today again. We're doing a little change. A lot of you know I got this windshield right here. This is actually a Harley Davidson windshield. I've been thinking about putting a, what is it, a 7-inch screen? 7-inch screen on my motorcycle. Actually thinking about putting a double DIN screen radio on my motorcycle. Here in a while. One that's got wireless Android Auto and wireless Apple CarPlay or whatever it is. But over time, a lot of people, I got that GPS mounted in the center of this thing. A lot of people wanted to know how, kind of did it. So this is a bag mount. This is probably the cheapest one you can find. HT, what is it, MT or something, whatever that Chinese company is. It makes a lot of Harley Davidson parts. They actually made this. I think right now on Amazon it's about between $30 and $40. And what it's got is this is the same exact one. I bought this thing like 5 times now. Not because they've worn out, just because I've done different things with them. But this is the exact same thing as this. It's got a removable pocket over here, and that's the reason that pocket's missing. So what I did whenever I mounted that last GPS, this of course is the shield that came off. I cut out this pocket right here, and I just kind of kept a flap there, and I mounted this 1-inch ball mount. Okay, this is the 1-inch ball mount, and what it is it's just bolted together on the front. And on the new one I did pretty much the same exact thing. And I've got Gorilla Tape behind here, and you'll notice here we've got some tint, some really dark tint so you can't see through it, and it all blends together. Did the exact same thing on the new one. But that's how it works as far as all that goes. And then the rest of it is on the back of the GPS, of course. And I've got a wire system here. Got a USB plug. I think that's about $10 for this double socket. And I'm tapped in up under the fairing. Back in there, a little hole right there to run the power wire up. So I've actually got 2 USB ports. One of them actually, I don't know if I got this turned the right way. One of them's actually going into the GPS. Now the mount, this particular weatherproof case, you can buy this thing off of eBay. Man, I think they used to be about $10. I can't tell you what they are now, but it's going to hold a 5.5-inch, and I'm guessing it'll hold a 6-inch GPS, no problem. You get into 7 inches, it's not going to hold it. It's too small. But this is going to hold the 5.5. This is the way that I've got all this mounted up. I just bought some plastic sheets, and just a little bit of thicker pieces, the last piece there, but you can see I've got some pieces there, and the last piece is a little bit thicker. And then we put the ball mount on, and it's all secure to the plastic. So that's kind of how all that's put together. I got a little hole so I could reach the power button, and to get your power cord, a little hole, and that's about it. The only bad thing about this Drive Smart 55 is it's not Bluetooth radio compatible. It connects with your phone. It does everything it's supposed to do, but it doesn't connect with my Kenwood radio. It'd be nice if it gave directions through the radio, but it connects and then it says my radio isn't compatible with what they've got going on. So that's that. But that ball right there, I showed you the 1-inch ball on the windshield. I've also got the 1-inch ball on this, and then there's an arm. This is an arm mount. So what happens is I tighten it down. I put a nut on mine to try to deter theft if theft were a concern. It usually comes with a big handle that you can use your hand, actually a handle like this, because this is the exact same thing I've got on my phone mount. So a handle like this is what you would typically see is right there. Let me get this out of the way for a second. So that would be what they typically come looking like. And this is the same concept right here. You got the 1-inch ball coming off your bars. You got the extension, and then you've got the ball mount attached to the phone holder. which allows it, once this loosens up, if you loosen this, let's do it. Sorry about the camera, y'all. I'm all over the place. But say for a second we loosen this. Now we can move this thing in, about any kind of way you want to. I lost my GPS just there, but come here, little GPS. Let's get up here before I lose you. Get off of that arm right there. This is actually a Chinese version of the RAM mount, but you can move it. It's a lot cheaper than the RAM mount too, and my guess is it's probably the exact same concept, because you know what, RAM mount gets things made in China like everybody else, and then China or whoever makes the product decides, well, we'll just make our own and it'll be cheaper. And that's basically, I think, what happens most of the time with all the products. But anyway, that's the way the RAM mount mounts. So, I mean the fake mounts. So the ball is going to be able to spin there in that socket. It's going to be able to spin here on this socket side. And then once you tighten it down, it's going to hold firmly. So that's the way this is going to work. So I'm going to mount this windshield now that everybody knows the secret and how I did it. We're going to drop this thing on and see what happens. Like I said, the real reason for this is I'm going to go ahead and put that 5.5-inch GPS back on for now. Got a 7-inch GPS. Probably going to try that maybe sometime this week. But the ultimate goal is to get this in a location where a 7-inch screen in there looks like it fits. All right, I hope that helps somebody if you were thinking about doing something like this. I'll try to post it here in a second what happens. I'm just going to pause this and we'll see what we got. All right, so guys, this is where we're at. I hadn't tightened this thing all the way down yet. I wish I would have shown y'all what I'm using for those well nuts, because all 2, 3, 4, 5 of those, they've disappeared. I lost all those rubber well nuts. So I'm using a clip for all 5 spots. They came from Amazon, I think a package of about 30 of them. And it's working pretty decently. I think those are M6 bolts. Pretty sure they're 6mm. So here we are. This is what we're looking at now. So everything's a tiny bit taller. Actually, these bags look like they're going to fit a lot better than they did before. They're not covering anything up, which is great. That one, tad bit lower than that one. So this is where we're at. There's our ball. That's pretty much where we want it. So let's see if we can tighten it all the way up, and I'm going to drop this GPS in there, and we're going to see what it looks like. All right, guys. So got it all back together. I'm probably going to pull this pocket off in here in a second, but this is basically what we've got. Because of this arm, we can move it and make it dance pretty much however we want to. So now we're just going to tighten it down wherever we think's the best spot, and that's what we got. And it looks pretty good. Kind of like it. The other reason I want to change the windshield is this is actually a 13-inch shield. It's actually clear. It's a clear shield, but it's got tint on it. I actually tinted the top, and then I actually double tinted down here so you can't really see through it, right? So once I do my chrome trim around, you won't see that tint area. I've got a lot of air bubbles in them. I don't know if you can tell it on the camera, but there's some, like right there. The heat might get it out, it might not. It's not the end of the world either way. I'm not looking through it. So I'm going to tighten this down. I'm going to pull this pocket off. This is the way this pocket works. It's got a button. It's got another little button, and it's got Velcro. So it'll pull right off. So we're just going to hold that for a minute. And now we're just going to situate this. If you were to do this and you didn't want to keep this, just cut it all the way out. The reason I kept it is I kind of like the idea of having it in the back, having kind of a factory kind of look with the bags, and that's why I did it. But should come out something like that right there. So we're gonna lock it up right now. Be back in a second. All right, all tightened up, guys. Not moving. So what I like to do with this is just kind of fold it one-handedly. Just kind of fold it back there and try to push it down if we can. Kind of push it down. Yeah. Once I get the second hand, I should be able to use two hands and pull that down. And I'll show you at the end what I'm talking about with the factory look. But kind of like that. I'm going to go ahead and put this pocket on. And guys, just like that, that's what we got. Only problem I see is I'm a little bit crooked there on the bottom, so I'm going to have to loosen that up and pull it back down a little bit. But that's what you get, is that there. It's not a lot to it. A lot of people keep GPSs down here. Nothing wrong with that, but I kind of like having it directly in my line of sight. That way I keep looking forward. I don't have to look down. I'm looking straight ahead, straight. And at night, of course, this automatically dims, so it goes into a darker mode, so it doesn't bother you. All right, guys, I hope that if you want to do that, that's about all there is to it. The parts actually to mount it. This ball mount's probably going to run you about $7 or $8. The arm's going to run you about $7 or $8. And I'm using Archon, which is a little bit cheaper than Ram mount. There's also another company, I can't think of their name, but they're all the same. But that, the arm, and then you get another one of these. So two of these at $7 a piece, you're gonna be at $14. Another $7 for the arm. Looking about $21 to $25 for the components. Then just drilling 3 holes in, buying you 3 screw bolts, some nuts. Boom, you're done with that. Like I said, the pouch is going to run you, if you get one like mine, about $30. Another thing to notice with my pouch, typically they go a lot lower and they actually fit down here and fit in the hole. That's not what I do, okay, because it creates way too much sag on this last on the corner pockets, and they cover up gauges too badly. So what this has actually got on the back side in between here is, this one didn't seal that well right here, but I actually used Velcro and Gorilla Glue. I mean, not Gorilla Glue, take that back, not Gorilla Glue. Gorilla Tape is also down there that helps to hold it all in place. And then of course you've got 2 bolts right here that's holding it securely there in the middle. So it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere. But that's about it, guys. That's it. That's it for the GPS. This part is just about this windshield. Okay, you've heard me talk in other videos about this shield. This is a Harley-Davidson Street Glide shield. If you notice, it's kind of the, what is that $199 shield called? It'll come to me later. But there's one that everybody knows about, and it's about $200 for a piece of plastic. Not doing that. So this is an eBay item. And we've also got one called Amazika. That's basically the same thing. It's a Harley-Davidson Street Glide Wave windshield. They call it the Wave because of how it waves. So right here, actually, I don't know if we can see it, but there's a wave right there. So this is actually a 10.5 right here. It's a 10.5 screen. Now, if you want to use this thing, it's pretty easy to use on our bikes. Harley-Davidson's got basically 5 mounting holes. No, they've got 3. Take that back. They've got 3. Harley-Davidson, let me hold 3 fingers. They've got 3 mounting holes. They've got this right here. They've got this middle right there. And then they've got the last one right here where my finger is again. And there's a little bit when you buy, if you were to do this windshield, that sticks down just a bit right along in here. So if you want to use the shield, the name of the game is a drill. You're just going to drill a hole here, you're going to drill there, you're going to get 2 more on this side, and then you're going to get a saw or a router or bandsaw, whatever you got available, and you're just going to cut this tab that's down there. And what you're going to have is a windshield that'll actually fit. It'll actually fit. And the good news is this windshield was, when I bought it, it's about $28 shipped. $28. So big difference if you're willing to put a little bit of time in. You know, I hadn't had any real trouble with it. When you tighten it down, just don't go too crazy, because it is a little bit thinner plastic, so it can crack. But you know, other than that, it's been a pretty good shield. I'll probably keep it. I might put it back on the bike at some point after I see how this one does. But I guess that's about it, guys. All right, remember, www.MEtricoil.com, www.MEtricoil.com, and if you see something that I didn't cover, let me know. We'll run through it. All right, guys, see you next time. MEtricoil.com.